Country superstar Carrie Underwood just pulled off a billion-dollar legal victory against one of daytime TV's most controversial talk shows. The View and the fallout is nothing short of explosive. This case didn't just expose the cracks in Hollywood's media machine, it shattered them. It all started with a single performance, one that put Underwood in the line of fire. After singing at Donald Trump's second inauguration, she became the target of relentless criticism from The View's most outspoken hosts, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin. But instead of staying quiet, Underwood fought back, launching a lawsuit that unearthed shocking truths about how public figures are treated in the media. Now ABC and The View are in full crisis mode, scrambling to contain the damage. With $1 billion on the line, and a verdict that could change television forever, one question remains. How did Carrie Underwood turn the tables and make history? Let's break it all down.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
It all began with what should have been a simple, patriotic performance. In a move that surprised some and angered others, Carrie Underwood took the stage at Donald Trump's second inauguration, performing America the Beautiful in front of a divided nation. While some praised her for staying true to her country roots and keeping politics out of her music, others saw it as a clear endorsement of Trump's policies. The backlash was swift, but nothing compared to what was coming next. The very next day, The View wasted no time in tearing Underwood apart on national television. Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin led the charge, painting her performance as an act of political allegiance, rather than a simple musical appearance. But they didn't just stop at criticism, they made it deeply personal. They mocked her intelligence, questioned her values, and insisted she had permanently ruined her career. Their attacks didn't just stop at speculation. The host went so far as to predict her downfall, claiming that Nashville and Hollywood would turn their backs on her, that fans would boycott her music, and that she had made an irreversible mistake. In a matter of minutes, they had transformed a performance into a scandal, leaving Underwood at the center of a media firestorm she never asked for. At first, Carrie stayed silent, but behind the scenes, she was facing real consequences. Sponsors hesitated, industry insiders whispered, and media outlets followed. The View's lead in framing her as controversial, what was supposed to be just another gig, had suddenly turned into a career-defining moment, one that almost ended it all. But instead of fading away, Carrie made a decision that would change everything. She fought back.
Here is The View link weighing in. I know you were waiting to hear what Whoopi Goldberg had to say, and I have it for you. Take a listen.
I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, people do what they do for whatever reasons. It's like Joe and Mika.
Yeah.
They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them. If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so I have to, I have to support.
Of course, she has the right to do it. What an inane point to bring them all together. Like, what? She's saying absolutely nothing.
Carrie Underwood's decision to stay silent at first wasn't a sign of surrender. It was a calculated move. While The View's hosts continued their relentless public shaming, Underwood watched as the industry began to shift around her. Radio stations hesitated to play her songs. Brands that once clamored to work with her suddenly backed away. And music executives whispered about whether she had become too controversial for mainstream success. The narrative pushed by The View was spreading like wildfire, and the damage to her career was becoming undeniable. But it wasn't just about Carrie. This was a much bigger conversation about media influence, bias, and cancel culture. Fans were divided, with some standing by her side and others distancing themselves. Meanwhile, industry insiders began questioning the power that talk shows like The View had in shaping public perception. Was this just a case of harsh political criticism, or was this a coordinated media takedown designed to destroy a public figure for ratings? Then came the bombshell. Leaked internal emails from ABC executives. These messages obtained during the lawsuit revealed that network higher-ups had actively encouraged the smear campaign against Underwood. Not for journalistic integrity, but for engagement and controversy. According to the lawsuit, the show's producers knew that targeting a high-profile conservative-leaning artist would generate headlines, spark social media outrage, and ultimately boost their ratings. As these revelations surfaced, the conversation shifted from Carrie's alleged mistake to The View's credibility. Industry professionals, legal analysts, and even rival talk shows began questioning how much influence networks should have in deciding who gets canceled and who gets a platform. What started as an attack on Carrie Underwood was now a full-blown scandal for ABC and The View. And as public scrutiny intensified, Carrie was quietly preparing her next move, one that no one saw coming.
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning. So
As the media storm around Carrie Underwood raged on, one thing became clear. This wasn't just about a celebrity spat. It was a battle for control over public narratives and media ethics. What started as a slow burn of industry backlash quickly erupted into an all-out legal showdown, one that would reshape the landscape of entertainment and media forever. Carrie Underwood had had enough. After months of silence, she decided to fight back, not just for herself, but for the integrity of the industry she had worked so hard to build. She filed a defamation lawsuit against The View, targeting the hosts and the network for their role in orchestrating the smear campaign against her. But this lawsuit wasn't just about clearing her name. It was about challenging the very foundation of cancel culture and media manipulation. In the complaint, Underwood accused the hosts of The View of making false, malicious statements that damaged her career, causing widespread damage to her reputation. But the case quickly became much more than a personal dispute. Underwood's legal team uncovered a trail of disturbing evidence that pointed to an organized effort by the show's producers and network executives to exploit the controversy for profit. The documents included internal emails and memos that revealed how ABC higher-ups had encouraged the public shaming of Underwood for the sake of increasing engagement and ratings. These emails showed that The View producers were well aware that the controversy surrounding Underwood's performance at the inauguration would spark social media outrage and lead to a ratings spike. In short, it was all about the numbers. As the case progressed, more shocking details emerged. Witnesses came forward, revealing how Underwood had been the target of coordinated media attacks, and how the network had leveraged her story to fuel a political agenda, one that was more about stoking division than reporting facts. The case went from being a celebrity drama to a national conversation about media ethics, manipulation, and the power of networks to control the public narrative. With every revelation, the pressure on ABC and The View mounted. What had once seemed like a personal dispute between a star and a talk show was now a full-blown crisis that questioned the integrity of one of the most influential platforms in American television. The lawsuit was no longer just about clearing Underwood's name. It had become a symbol of resistance against the toxic power dynamics that define modern media. Carrie Underwood wasn't just fighting for her career anymore. She was fighting to change the rules of the game. And with every legal blow, it became clear that this was a fight she was determined to win. So what's your thought on this debate? Tell us in the comment. And if you found the story compelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates.